Hey guys, new video here. Magic Find Blade Vortex. I know there's like a lot of videos already out there on the topic. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a map, show you what the build looks like, and then I'll talk a little bit about the gear, skill tree, ascendancy, all that stuff. Once again, there's a lot of other videos out there. I'll give my thoughts on it. I kind of want to also give my thoughts on like Blade Vortex and as it refers to this league. And just kind of some of my thoughts on the league as well. So this will be kind of like a two-part video. The first part will be actually the build itself, and then the second part will be like just like general thoughts, suggestions, things like that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So as you see, what you do is you don't even need 10 stacks. Sometimes I'm like 9 or 10, but most of the time you're just like running around like half the stacks, right? So they changed it in 3.3 where you actually only have to maintain 10 stacks at max, like if you're killing a boss. And so that's extremely easy. You don't need spell echo anymore. You don't even need faster casting. You don't really need that much cast speed on the tree either. I'm gonna cast my Vaal Blade Vortex right now so you can see what it looks like. So you can see it's okay. It's got a decent AoE. It's instant damages because it's instant 10 stacks, and so it's pretty good. AI is pretty bad on it, so I'll go more into that later. But this is fully magic find, so barely any damage from the gear besides like my Esh's Mirror. We'll go after gear. We'll go over gear after this map here. So basically, as you can see, it's no issues, even though, I mean, this is a tier 8 barrow chambers. I'm farming it because I need the doctors. And then, but I'm pretty sure the performance would be like the same in like the higher tier maps and everything. Because the Blade Vortex is just like such strong single target and such strong clear. I'll do an incursion here. What do we have here? Currency items? Okay, we'll do that. And I hope I don't get one shot by the constructs here. That would be... So here's the architect. That was a Vaal Blade Vortex on top of him. It's pretty easy. The only thing you really die to in here is like sometimes you zone in and the constructs themselves are already there, like loading up. And as they load up, you move and then you become, you know, unimmune. Oh, I didn't have my golem up there. And that's it. That's all the mobs there, I think. Oh, there's some over here. Didn't have my Blade Vortex up there. So always have enough time there. Usually I'm at like 20-30 seconds at the end there. So nothing too crazy. Got some jewelries here. Okay, not that great. And I have a Blade Vortex up, as you can see in the bottom right, for the boss. So we'll kill the boss real quick, and then we'll go over all the gear. So Blade Vortex goes up, and then yeah, you're doing okay. So let's go back to town. And we'll talk about the build overall. Where's my portal? There it is. Debated myself because I'm using breach portal, so sometimes I think it's actual breach. Okay, so put our stuff back here, and I have a dump tab here. All right, so the build overall, we'll go over the gems first, and once again, this is full magic find. So if you're looking for like a Blade Vortex that actually makes you feel like you have a powerful character, this probably isn't the video. So I have a control destruction, physical to lightning, and then obviously the Vaal Blade Vortex. I don't have a 2120 just because I don't feel like I need it, and it's like a massive number of exalts. And I'm gonna be maybe switching off this character after farming the 8 doctors. So Blade Vortex. Oh man, I got like a thing there. Hold on, /DND. Okay, so we have Blade Vortex linked to Fist of Lightning because as an Elemental, you want as much LE damage as possible because the Ascendency and like the skill tree is very conducive to LE. And then so Fist of Lightning is like a no-brainer there. Control Destruction because you already have like such high crit, especially with like a Diamond Flask, that you know the 100% reduce isn't like it doesn't make your crit 0 if anybody doesn't know. It just makes your base crit, which on Blade Vortex is 6. It minuses 6 crit strikes from the skill right here, right? So like if I took it out, this should be like 50, I think. Let's see. Yeah, see 50 something, 52. And so that's pretty good, right? And then also it is linked to increased critical strikes because you want as much crit as possible. If I take this out, look, I'm at 27 base and now I'm at 44, right? So your chance not to crit is 0.56 raised to 2, right? So like you pretty much have like a 20-something% chance not to crit, which is very high. And then obviously later on you get Headhunter, right, and you get more crit. So that's pretty nice, mandatory there. And then Ink AoE, this isn't so mandatory. I believe that at a level 20 increased AoE, if you put it in POB, if you take this out, you lose 2 radius. No, 4 radius, right? So I was like, you know, do I want 4 radius for a gem? And I was like, yes, I do. But what I also have is in my swap tab here, I also have a conk effect 2020. So for like Omnitech, when I get up here, if you're ever doing any bosses that you're having a hard time on, if you put in the conk effect, it's a ridiculous amount of damage. So just swap out the Ink AoE for the conk effect for bosses if you need to. On map bosses, you shouldn't need to, and this should give you a little bit more clear. And last one, Hypothermia, because like you're always chilling, right? Because you have like your beacon, you have a little bit of cold damage from Herald of Ice, and so you're definitely going to be using this. It's just like in POB, it was like the most damages. There wasn't anything really else I wanted, and so it's pretty good. And I mean, it has a little bit of a chance to freeze as well, which is an added bonus, but it's not like. You know, it's just the best in slot for that one. So 2 green, 4 blue for the Blade Vortex. Okay, and then in here, oh, these are just leveling gems. Okay, so then in my shield, I have Herald of Ash, no brainer there. It's an Elementalist, so you're running triple Heralds, and Herald of Ash 2020 here, just because it gives a little bit more damage with your fire damage. It's okay. The ignites on this guy never matter because the hits and the Herald of Ice are such good clear. But you have it in there anyways because the Blade Vortex, the base skill, is physical, right? And so this is a little bit of physical as extra fire damage. So that's big. And on the heralds, the quality, I think that's global. So that 15% for fire, lightning, and then on my Herald of Ice, that's all global. Now, Herald of Lightning, nothing more to see here. This is just added lightning damage. You know, most of your damage on the tooltip is lightning, so pretty good. And of course, the global increase. And I guess the lightning bolts, they do help a little bit in breaking like barrels and stuff. So that's a little added bonus, but pretty reliable skill here. Okay, next I have Herald of Ice, and this Herald of Ice is linked to Onslaught, and it's linked to added lightning damage support. The only reason I really have that on there is because, I mean, I had like so much mana, right? Because from your Ascendency, your Heralds reserve less mana. And so what ends up happening is, like, if I take this out, like, I just have like too much mana. And with my Blade Vortex, I can cast it a lot, especially since I have a tiny bit of leech. So it's not really that mana intensive, so I just put that in there. Onslaught is for more reliable obviously speed without having to use a silver flask, so it saves you a flask there. And now a lot of people try out, like, for example, like, I have a lightning golem here, right, for more attack and cast speed, but a lot of people do like curse on hit. You could do either like Assassin's Mark, you could do Poacher's Mark, you can do any kind of weakness spell, but I found that charging through at least the barrow chambers, the maps that I'm doing, I rarely ever got the power charges from the Assassin's Mark. And like, if I put Ice Bite in there, right, you could put Ice Bite in here, I found that Ice Bite never gave me any frenzy. Well, it did, like once or twice per map maybe. And I think the reason for that is because the Impulses is taking over, or maybe the Blade Vortex AoE, like, it's big enough when you charge in a pack, the Blade Vortex is what's doing the kill instead of the Heralds, because it does so much more damage. I don't know. It's just Ice Bite, and then the Curse on Hit was not effective for Herald of Ice. So what I chose to do is I just took it out. And how I'm getting charges now is with Overcharge on the tree. I'll describe this later, but when I get to the skill tree. Okay, so that's the Herald of Ice links right there. In the booties, I have Shield Charge. This is a classic Shield Charge setup. Fortify for to take a lot less damage, right? It's very reliable. Faster attacks, no brainer here, because you're just going to move around faster. And then Culling Strikes 23%, and this isn't really for the cull. This is for the attack speed. So if you get 23%, you get like 11.5% increased attack speed on this skill. So very nice. Just want to go as fast as possible. And so the and that's why I'm using a bright beak as well, because I want to go faster. And then in here, this is just leveling. I have a portal scroll because trading for portals early on in the league, I was like super annoyed by it because I just could not get the portal scrolls, right? So I was like, oh man, let's buy a portal gem. But I think like portal scroll is still faster. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about flasks. Diamond flask, because you want to get your crits to be lucky, which means it rolls the crits twice. Very good flash here, lots of extra damage. I put staunching because you need to solve staunching and bleed, and then hopefully warding on your character. And so this is just where I put my staunching. You put heat on here, you can put warding on here. You just have to have one of your flasks has to have one of the three. Next one is a Chemist Stibnite flask of warding, mostly because I needed warding, mostly because the base duration is very long, mostly because the charges consumed are very low. So I mean, you can also go Experimenter Stibnite flask is also very good for warding, but I've solved my curse issues on maps with this, so pretty damn good. Alchemist Quicksilver flask of adrenaline right here, and this is like the classic speedy flask. I have a 24%. It's kind of lame. I wish I could get a higher one. Maybe I'll buy a better one. But this is like one I bought early on in the league. So you want a 30% increased movement speed. Shouldn't be that expensive. Maybe like 20-30 C this league, and this will just make your shield charge faster when you're walking around picking up items. It'll make you faster. And this is a Dying Sun, so this gives you 2 radius. And you don't even need a 24%. You can get like a 20. Like you don't even need that much. It gives me 2 radius though, and I was like, you know what? 2 radius, that is worth it to me. So I bought the Dying Sun, but I might sell this because if I switch over characters, to level, I might level an Arc Trap or something. Won't need this, right? So Dying Sun is only if you value radius. If you don't like that, then you could use anything else. Maybe like what else could you use? Wise Oak or something would be kind of cool. Okay, Experimenter's Sulfur Flask of Heat. Once again, you have to solve your cold issues, your freeze issues. So the duration is quite long, 3 uses without chemists, so that's like amazing. And yeah, increased duration is not bad. The damage is a little bit of regen on the ground. It's just like the last flask I had. I didn't really want to use like anything else. And like I said, if I use like Wise Oak here, I would have to sacrifice like a warding or something, which I didn't want to do. So that's what I'm using for my flasks, just to go fast. In terms of gear, so the helm that I'm using is a Gull, and I really like the Gull. The Gull's not like some super juicy helm. It's just one of the most fun helms, right? If you get a big shrine, you get a resist shrine. Resist shrine is +3 max resist, which is really strong. And it's one of the most common ones. Regen shrine, amazing there, right? You don't have to like worry about your mana ever, which is one of the most common ones. Defensive shrine gives you some ES, which you do have a little bit of, and then like the massive shrine is like AoE and life, which is fine. All the shrines are so good. If you get an acceleration shrine, it does make you noticeably faster, which is amazing. What's the other shrine? Oh, brutality shrine, damages and knockback, which is debatable. And so I just think the Gull is so fun. And so if we go here, a Gull is 3C. It's actually 3C. And so this should be quite affordable, even if you want like the max life, right? So let's say you want, mine's not like a perfect one, but let's say I want like 80 life, right? Look at that, it's 4C for a maximum life roll. And so it's a nice like helm to like just juice up your gameplay, right? Like mine's like 76 life, but whatever. And so this is you can also use a light poacher, I guess, if you want to get a little bit more clear speed, a little bit more damages, but I go for the fun over the light poacher. But light poacher is also solid choice and very cheap too. Okay. Chest is an Impulsas. Now I did take this off. I bought a +2 AoE tabby for like 25C, and I tried it out. Instantly noticeable that Impulsas helps you clear so much better. It's like night and day. So you kind of have to have Impulsas. I think the base one, when I was buying them, I actually have like 2 of them here. This one I've been trying to link for a long time. But the base one, if you can get a good whoop going, it's like what was like 1.7 or something like that. 120, 130 C, not bad at all, right? And so you can definitely do that. And so this is just because it ups your clear speed by so much, this is just best in slot. Yeah, while the shock effectiveness, the life, the explosion, those are good. Or sorry, the explosions is the clear speed, but the shock effectiveness, the life, and the damage, if you shocked an enemy recently, is good. It's just the explosions, I think, that are making everything so juicy. So get this thing if you can. As for the gloves, Sadamas. With the LE weakness, because I'm not using Assassin's Mark Curse on Hit. So Sadamas are also pretty cheap. If you look at a base version, if you don't want to go for 16% quant, you can get LE weakness on hit for 20C. And if you want a perfect Sadamas with quant, so quantity of items found, 16 is the max roll, I believe. You're looking, if you don't care about the corruption, you're looking at 1C, man. It's like one of the most awesome sources of quantity for this cheap. Now obviously the stats aren't that great, right? But that's what you do for Magic Find. As you can see, I have 3.4k health. Okay, as for the belt, Bisco's Leash, right? Rampage is amazing. Rampage kind of helps your clear speed in terms of a little bit of speed and a little bit of AoE when you get like the spears, when you get the stun, or when you get the corpse explosions, all that kind of stuff. So pretty good here, and it also gives you 5% quantity, which isn't bad, and a little bit of rarity. You know, who knows? It might help you drop a bigger tier unique. So nothing more to say here. This is like the budget headhunter, I guess, until you get a headhunter, which will really ramp up your clear speed. Bisco's is pretty cheap too. Like this is the one I got at the beginning of the league, and so it's like 4C, 5C, not so bad, right? So very affordable belt here. Buy this, you'll love it. Can't go wrong with it. And then as for the Brightbeak, you want to at least get an attack speed roll for sure. This one I bought for 50 something C a few days ago, and if you can whoop a double roll, it's really good. But the base roll will be I think it goes with 7%, doesn't it? Is it? Yeah, 7% attack speed. So try to get a Brightbeak with an implicit. You'll feel a little bit faster, and that's pretty nice. But base Brightbeak, even a perfect one, isn't more than a few C's. So just get one of those. It'll make you so much faster. It'll make your shield charge like real speedy, and that's nice. As for the amulet, Bisco's is like a more expensive item. It started the league at like 130 C, but now a decent one is like I think 3 exalts. So this might cost you a little bit, but it is so worth it for reasons I won't say here. Bisco's exploit. That's pretty good there. Magic, once again, it's a full Magic Find character. And then next we have an Eshe's Mirror. This one is just like not max rolls, low intelligence, not the max life or anything, but it's just like the first one I could buy very early on in the league. And Eshe's Mirror like isn't so bad. I think it's last search. Eshe's Mirror is about 80 to 90 C, right, for like the lowest rolls. You can divine it up pretty easily, and so that's worth it, right? That's about an exalt right there, but you shouldn't have any issue buying this mirror. It adds so much juice to the build, just because when you kill an enemy, that's 1 to 10 lightning damage added to Blade Vortex. Well, Blade Vortex is like a 30% effectiveness, I think. Is it? Hold on, let me check. Blade Vortex, yeah, 30%, but still, you kill so many enemies, so it's such a big amount of flat damage added to your Blade Vortex, and also to your Herald of Ice, which is really nice. So good stuff there. So definitely get this shield. It is the best for the clears. Okay, and then as for rings, you're gonna want 2 Ventors, obviously 10% if you can get them. But if you want to try your whoop luck, probably everyone's whooping Ventors now, right? What you can do is a good filter, I think is fine, is 9% increased quantity, 1% off max, 30 life is totally fine, and then 40 total res. That means a combination of every single res added up is at least 40, right? So if you get 2 rings, I mean that's and you have like 40 total on each one, that's quite respectable, because I mean the gold worms that you'll be using have like fire res. These will have the regular res. Ashe's Mirror has lightning res. The gold has cold res. The Brightbeak has fire and lightning res. So you're actually okay, and maybe you have like a Lyra and stuff. So do this filter. This is a very good ring. And then I mean, you can see here it's not bad at all. You can go from 29, 40, 40, 50, right? It's quite affordable, and you can kind of like budget it around what resist you need. So use that and then filter it out a little bit if you need specific res or if you want to up these values. But this is a very juicy Ventures right here, so not that expensive. Another thing you can do is you can use a gold worms, and so of course this is like kind of mandatory on Magic Find builds as well. The only roll that you're looking for is the quantity. Now mine's not max. I think the maximum quantity is 20%, and a 20% shouldn't be that much. Shouldn't be that much money. Let's see what it is right now. What is the gold worms? Here we go. Perfect gold worms is currently about 50C. A little over 50C it looks like, for 20% quantity of items found. Now the reason I didn't buy a perfect one and why I have a 19% one is I'm really lazy. I don't like farming lab in a new league, at least not to start, and so I just wanted to buy this damage leached as life and mana, because I don't have the life leech here from Paragon of Calamity. And so what I was doing, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy this. So the 20% quality and the leech were super expensive. This was like many days ago, right? So it was so expensive that I just couldn't do it. So I dropped the quantity by 1, and these were like really cheap. So I was like, yes, I'll take this. So the leech, I think that's like the best in slot enchant right there. If you're wondering about glove enchants, like I said, the elemental, I think the Ellie weakness on his is the best one. But if you want to go commandment of reflection, that's fine too. Okay, and then as for, I've gone over all the gear here, I believe. I'll go over the Ascendency, and that is an elemental. So you want to go Mastermind Discord because it's decent, reduced mana reservation, and it makes you have all kinds of penetration. And as you know, penetration is very strong, strong against regular mobs who have naturally very low resistances, and then strong against bosses, which have, if they do have high resistances, then it can even ignore it off the top. So very nice. Pendulum, you're going to notice this AoE. AoE is massive when it does kick in, and it's there half the time. Really good. 75% increased Ellie damage as a 2-pointer. Not bad either. You know, a little bit of extra juice. But the AoE, man, it just feels really good. So next we have Shaper of Desolation. This will help you a little bit. I mean, you'll just notice like more elemental effects, you know, more freezes, more shocks, more ignites don't really matter, but you know what I'm saying. It's pretty decent for clear and a little bit of deeps. And then so the Beacon of Ruin kind of ties into this because like your shocks are doing even with like the tiniest hit for whatever reason, you're always going to be making them take at least 20% more damage, and then the Impulses kind of buffs that a little bit. And yeah, so I mean, it's just you're really only taking this for the shock, right? Shock is just a massive multiplier, so amazing there. Mini nodes are they're okay, I guess. Nothing much to say about this. Attack and cast speed, pretty damn good. Okay, skill tree, I went Witch. Okay, so it's a little bit scuffed right now because these dex nodes right here, and especially right here, that's 4 dex nodes I'm taking just to like be able to use my Blade Vortex. So I'm started on dex. I could get some jewels for it, but it's kind of whatever. So most Blade Vortex builds will look kind of like this. You go up here, you get life where you can, you get spell crit here. You know, you're using a lot of juicy flasks, so you want the alchemists. I take this because I like the feel of more crit. It just like, you know, it just feels better to me. You go over here, crit multi. Now this area right here, you don't necessarily need this. I'm using once again Intuitive Leap just because I don't want to ever have to worry about charges if they ever like don't curse on hit, or you know, if I ever don't get them. Now I have all the charges all the time. It's so reliable. And then of course, because you hit this, you can get a 6% increased life, 10% ES for 1 point, and that's really good too. So try this out. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, or your setup for getting the charges you need is working, then you don't need this. It'll save you, you know, a few points here. And then over here, obviously life, the crit multi for spells, crit chance, more crit here and damages, and then the fizz. Like if you ever convert and you have fizz on the tree, or fizz on, you know, like items, or yeah, fizz on items, fizz on the tree, it always adds the damage to the fizz. And then if you're converting, you also gain that for the Ellie. So don't worry about like if you're full conversion Ellie, the physical damage will still increase your damage. Okay, go over here. These are really juicy nodes because it helps your shield charge and your Blade Vortex casting. So I really like these nodes right here that they did. Amazing. Then after getting like this life, you swing over here, life in Templar, attack and cast speed here, and then going here, you need like 1 duration node, or else Blade Vortex feels kind of like feels like it expires like way too fast. So I took this node here, took this just because it was like a 1-pointer, and mana regen's like kind of okay in life regen, because like it helps a tiny bit with casting a little bit more without worry. Crit multi, crit chance up here, AoE right here. I took both AoE wheels here, and then like Light of Divinity and then Jewel Socket here. So that's about it. That's how I would do it. And if you're leveling, if I was leveling, I would go like, I would take like Annihilation, I would take Cruel Prep, and then I would go, you can go either into Shadow here and then here, or you can go to Templar first for this and this and this. It doesn't actually matter. Just go both ways and then fill it out as you can go, and then get this next. And as for, oh yeah, and then the full conversion, sorry. I'm not using full conversion. I'm using half conversion through Fizz to Lightning. But if you want full conversion, you use Hrim Sorrows, Hrim Burns. And Hrim Sorrows, a lot of people are corrupting it on the double corruption altar, so you get an easy 2 implicit Hrim Sorrows, which will convert all your damage to elemental. Then you can actually you can run Fizz Reflect maps, and if you, for some reason, let's say you took this, you can run LE maps as well. So Hrim Sorrows, excellent choice, and your DPS will go up by a lot if you use Hrim Sorrows. Okay, that's another swap right there. Overall, that's the build. It's okay. For Magic Find, it's been doing okay. It's kind of middle of the road for me because like you have to keep casting your Blade Vortex sometimes, which isn't as annoying as I thought. But now I'll talk a little bit. So that's like the video. If you have any questions, I guess you can ask me. What's my Twitch name? Twitch.tv/cuteDog_. Okay, you can ask me there. But let's talk about the league a little bit and Vaal Blade Vortex, because I do want get some things off my chest. The Vaal Blade Vortex, I know there's a patch coming in a few days that'll improve the AoE of it, but the AI is such garbage, like complete trash. For example, let's say that Zaba right here is my unique monster, the map boss, and then these portals, these breach portals, are white mobs, right? This is kind of bad because like my hideout is like super lag. Okay, hold on. So let's say that's the case, right? If I cast my Vaal Blade Vortex on Zaba, there's a very high chance that it instantly shoots over to whatever white mobs or whatever trash is there. Now that might be intended because maybe it's like, hey, you want it to clear, right? And you don't want it to sit on a single target. But I found I use it mostly in the boss room, and it's just like the AI is so horrible. Another thing, let's say that you clear out, let's say that the guild stash right here is a pack, and you cast your Vaal Blade Vortex right here, and there's a pack by the map device, there's a pack by Zaba. Sometimes if it's on screen but a little bit farther away, it won't move. Like it'll just sit here forever until the duration expires. It will not move to a pack that you can see on your screen. And I mean I'm using like a little bit of a widescreen resolution, so maybe that's the case, but like it's just so annoying to see it like not follow through with chasing after mobs. Now it does it sometimes, but AI can use some work, and we'll see what the patch does they said early next week, so it should be okay. Another thing is that what I found is I've been running Barrow Chambers, and while I was running Channies, the Vaal Blade Vortex, it's like, besides killing bosses, it's not that effective for clearing, because of course it has a decent AoE, and when you drop it down it'll kill everything, but you're almost always going in the same direction anyways with your Blade Vortex up, and it's kind of hard to explain this, but you'll drop it and it's just one shield charge away, and so you clear that one pack, right? Whereas like something like Vaal Fireball, Vaal Spark, all of these skills, when you press it, it clears multiple screens and it's very reliable. The Vaal Blade Force, I feel like it doesn't even do that much for you, because especially in linear maps, when you're going that direction anyways, when you charge through, they would have died anyways. So what you find yourself doing is you find yourself holding on to this Vaal Blade Vortex sometimes, right? And then also currently one of the saving features is like in an Incursion, you can cast a Vaal Blade Vortex across walls, like into other rooms that you can't physically get to, you know, without opening a door or something. And so like, here, I'll show you what I mean. Imagine that I am standing right here, and these are like stone walls in like in whatever map. I could, if I was standing right here, I could cast my Vaal Blade Vortex through this wall into here. Okay, I don't even need to see what's in there, and they're gonna remove that in the patch. And I don't think that's the right choice, but so you won't be able to do that. Maybe it says like you have to have sight, which means I'm guessing you have to be line of sight. You have to be able to, like, you know, walk there within that room. So I don't know about that. They're gonna remove that. I feel like it's kind of a nerf, like, to Incursion Vaal Blade Vortex, but it's really not that big a deal. You do enough damage anyways. You never run out of time in the Incursions. Another thing that I'm kind of like, I wish that they had is so when you go into a temple, I think everyone's quickly realized that if a room doesn't have that much stuff, like it doesn't have a special mod, you can sometimes skip it if it's out of the way. It's not a big deal to skip it. You know, the quantity doesn't feel that great. Even magic finding in temples does not feel that great unless it's a special room. And or maybe if you're running a super high tier temple for like the extra map drops, you want full clear. But I just skip a lot of rooms that don't have a special affix. So I really wish you could like click on each room like this. See, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or like click on these 4, and it would highlight these 4 rooms right here. And then when like you had your mini map up, maybe there's like some border or some little icon, you know, like the Master Quest red circle icon there or something, so that you could like follow the markers instead of like constantly doing this and saying like, do I need to go diagonal? Do I need to go this way? Is it blocked, right? Because blockages are although on the mini map it's like that very tiny narrow passage, you don't know about it until you get there, or you have to like really look at this. And I think it's a little bit quality of life if we could highlight rooms that we want to go to, and it would show up as a glow on the minimap, a special outline on the minimap. It would help so much because let's say you have one like this. See this gem cutters workshop right here? I have to go up through here into vault and then back downwards, right? And so if it's something like, if it's like over here, like imagine I have to go up to Poison Garden and then go down to these tunnels for some reason, you might forget about that, right? Because it's hard to like, there's no marker to tell you if you cleared the room or not, or opened all the chests in the room. So that'd be nice too. And then so if you have to go backtrack like 2 rooms, you might forget. So it'd be nice to be able to, once again, click on the room that you have unlocked, and it would highlight it here. And also it would because like then you wouldn't forget, right? And it would also highlight the minimap. Just a small suggestion. It would help so much. It would make the temple so much more enjoyable, knowing I didn't miss anything, or like that my pathing would be easier. But that's about it. Overall, the Incursion League's been very fun. Love it. I feel like the temple could use a little bit of a buff though. Temple like loot, I don't know what's going on. Using Magic Find, it's supposed to like inherit the map mods. I don't know. Temple doesn't feel that great unless it's a special room. Alright, that's about it. No more complaining from me, Baby Rage. Once again, you guys want to watch, I'm at twitch.tv/cutedog_. And bye! Hope you guys enjoyed the video.